Okay, hey you fucks. Another hour with Crowder, and we got a good ass guest, a good day to talk about witches, demons, and all that lovely bullshit.
I'm going to answer as much as I can, as much as I
With
know.
my guest, she's actually a practicing witch. My guest, True Storm.
Yes. Hi.
Hey,
Hey. How you
see,
doing?
how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, freaking raining and shit out here. Anyways, I got a couple of questions for you because I'm not curious about the occult, not curious enough to get into it, but I'm curious about the origins of it, why somebody would go off into that space instead of just picking another religion. A lot of people, whenever they stray away from Christianity, they go to just another religion. But you took it way left and you went to witchcraft. Is that even really way left? And like, how did you get started in that?
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna answer this as best way I can.
No, just answer it genuinely.
No, I. That's the best way I can.
Ah.
um, how I got into it. Um, like I said before, I got into more of the practicing later on in life. But growing up, I never just felt comfortable with Christianity. I never felt comfortable being in the church.
What turned you off about Christianity?
What turned me off about it is, you know what? A specific memory from when I was 8 or 9. My mom and my dad, they got really, when they were together at that time, my mom and my dad got really mad at me and my sister about something. And I can't even remember what it was, but my mom made it a punishment for me and my sister to go in the room and read the Bible and read there was a excerpt talking about obey thy mother and father and honor them, and explaining why you should and why you need to and why it's bad to disobey them. And we had to write that down and we had to read it over and over again. And we had to come back to them later and explain to them what we learned from that. And as I'm reading it, I'm just all like, why would I respect somebody that treats me wrongfully, regardless if they're my mom or my dad? Like, obviously those aren't the words that I used in my kid brain, but it was more so like, why would I want to be nice to somebody who's mean to me? Like, and not just not just, just mean to me like some kid angst, like, oh, mom and dad is, a dick type shit. No, yeah. Like, no, like, honor thy mother and father. Like, but what if they're not honorable? Like,
ooh,
you
that's
know,
a bar right there. What if they're not honorable?
like, it was some real shit. Like, I was really questioning that. Like, I even asked my dad, and like, I actually got I got in trouble for that, for questioning, like, why would I do this if you're mad at me for no reason? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, really, I would get I'm the oldest out of 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so anytime my 2 younger siblings got in trouble, it would be my fault. Like, I could be taking a nap and reading a book, and they're out there climbing the fucking double bed like a fucking jungle gym. One of them cracked their fucking neck, and it's my fault. So, and I'm just like, I told them to get down. What you want me to do? If I come tell you, you send me back in my room. So what am I supposed to do? I can't whoop them. I can't. If I pull them down, I'm gonna get in trouble for putting my hands on them. So what do you expect me to do if you're not gonna come handle it? So that right there was a moment for me, and it kind of just led into like, this thing doesn't make sense. This Bible doesn't make sense. None of it made sense to me. Like,
explain, like, what parts of the Bible does not make sense to you?
God, let me go ahead and reach back into the crevices. I'm so bad with the Bible because I just blocked it out completely. I did. Let's see. The whole in the beginning. So in the beginning, there was darkness. Okay? So apparently God was just chilling in the darkness. All right? And God was just chilling in the darkness. And then after a couple of days, he made day, and then he made night. And I'm just like, it sounded more like he didn't. It sounded more like it was like 4 days instead of 3. And then, like, before then, it was like you made the sun. You said, let there be light. And then apparently you said days passed. But in order for you to have days passed, you have to have night. And then you created night some point time later. So did days pass or did just one full long and like elongated fucking daylight pass? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And then on top of that, in the beginning, there was God. Where did he come from?
That's a really good question. A lot of people
Like,
ask that. I think that that's everyone number one question is, where did God come from? If God made me, who made God? I think that's every little kid's
also,
first question about
it
the
is
Bible.
like, where did God come from? Oh, God was already here. Okay, so you telling me this nigga just been sitting up here twiddling his thumbs, and then all of a sudden he was like, yo, you know what would be good? Like, as he sips his fucking yak, I'm gonna make Earth.
Man, God was not sipping yet.
Nah, he had to be sipping something to create these. Like, come on, man. You took forever to make the sun, and then you took forever to make the moon, and then you took forever, and then you made humans, and then you made Adam, and then Lilith, and then Lilith wasn't trying to deal with your shit, so you kicked her out, and then you pulled one of Adam's ribs and said, yo, let me borrow this real quick, and then you made Eve, and she was subservient enough, and then you had a fucking snake in the garden. You knew the snake was there. You knew that nigga was sitting in the goddamn tree or whatever, and you set this one tree out to the side. You, being the all-knowing and forever seeing God, knew that your kids was finna walk over to this tree and eat an apple, and you had the audacity to come down and ask them what the fuck they was doing when you knew good and goddamn well they was gonna be doing it. Like,
so, well, that's excuse me. That's not Corona, folks. So a lot of backlash that witches get is that they think a lot of y'all are Satanists, and I actually have that perspective too. Is that you guys are witches versus Satanists? What is the difference between a Satanist and a witch? Because if you read a book on Wiccan, which I have a little bit, but then I started feeling like I was conjuring up spells, so I started reading that motherfucker. But
I mean,
unless
you are the difference is that we are not Satanists.
What's the definition of a Satanist?
A Satanist is a different religion.
There's a few different definitions.
What's the definition? Because I'm not. I don't know.
I mean, they're not. It's not quite like denominations, but it's like there's Luciferianism, there's Satanism, there's the Church of Satan. There's people that are Satan worshipers. There's satanic
that's what's in the, that's the definition.
See, I'm glad.
I would say there's like a default Satanism, which is pretty much atheism.
Okay.
It's like
truth to self.
Diet Satanism.
Diet.
Intentional.
I'm glad he came in with that because I was finna have trouble trying to name all of them off because I don't delve in that. I haven't looked into that fully as of yet. But I feel like, for one, they're like their own different religious aspect. And then honestly, I've met a Satanist before, and he was a pretty cool guy. And
were you scared that he was gonna try to
what? No,
get you in?
No.
Get you in that damn coat?
Nah, hell no. I feel like they could really be less bothered by anybody else, to be real. Like, it's like anything else. Like a lot of like in the craft that I'm in, everybody always thinks that, oh, she's gonna cast a spell on me if I piss her off. Like, no, I'm probably just gonna give you these hands, to be real. Like,
yeah, I ain't even gonna stunt. Before I left out the house, then my mom always asked me, "Oh, who are you gonna interview today?" And I was like, "Oh, she's a really nice person." And she was like, "But who?" I was like, "A witch." She was like, "Oh, you better pray to Jesus in your car and in that office." And I was like, I don't think she's that type of person. She always gets like real
it's just divination.
She's just real up in
Christians.
arms. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's heavy Christian, and that's understandable. Like, respect to mama, she's looking for she's looking for your well-being and all that. I get it.
Yeah, but I think that just because you have power don't mean that you use it all the time. I think that's really like a godlike state right there. Is that when you have power, you don't necessarily want to use it or have to use it. You only use it when you got to.
And that's with anything. That's what humans in general.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just be like, you have it, and honestly, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your limits, you know what you can and can't do. And because I know I can go out and rob a bank doesn't mean that I'm gonna do it. I can have a full scale plan knowing how to get in, get out, and get away and be good, but I don't have to do it though. I don't need to unnecessarily flex like that. You know? But I just like literally combine witchcraft with robbing the bank. Anyway.
She gonna go home and make that motherfucking spell tonight.
Those are called prosperity spells, and that brings in prosperity of wealth and well-being. But that's another story.
Yeah. With that being said, about using power and doing power, and we were talking a little bit about this in the car, and you just kind of explained a little bit about it here before we had set up. Is you have kids and a husband? How are they taking to that? Do they think it's weird? Do they think that, oh, my mom's a witch and I'm gonna have witch powers? Because that, like with the Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Bewitched, all those shows, they think that, oh, you just kind of get power or whatever. What is the
it's
whole
not
thing behind that?
That's just entertainment. I mean, some things might have some kind of realism to them, but all of that is just really just a whole bunch of fucking entertainment. And my kids, they
do they know you're a witch? Do your husband know you're a witch?
My husband knows. He knows I'm spiritual. My husband, he isn't a Christian either. He's more so of a he's more so spiritual with his own. He has a really different personal religious view. And it's not even religious, like I said, it's more spiritual. He's more one with self type thing going on. And I can't necessarily explain his too well because
he's not here.
Yeah, he's so much better than words than I am.
Yeah.
So he would be able to tell you better than I do. Well, I can, but he's a spiritualist. He's spiritual, very spiritual. Me and my kids, they know mommy's weird. And my belief is that I'm not going to pressure my kids into doing anything. I'm not going to force them to be Christian. I'm not going to force them to learn the craft. But what I am going to do and what I have been doing is I've been teaching my daughter, my oldest daughter, she sees an interest in what I'm doing, she'll come and ask questions, and I answer her honestly. And, of course, I've wrapped stones for my daughter. She has a little amethyst necklace that I made for her. My youngest, she has a moonstone necklace that I made for her way before she even got here. And she'll ask me, so what does the stone do? What's it for? And I explain it to her. And if she sees me like, maybe preparing, like I said, a prosperity ritual for myself, or maybe saging around the house or something, she was like, so what's this for? And I'll explain it to her. And if she's interested in it, then we'll get into that. We'll go further with that. But I truly just don't believe in forcing any belief or anything onto a child, because they're so malleable. Like you can mold them into anything. And I feel like I want my kids to become who they truly are on their terms. So I'll give them the tools that they need to grow on their journey through life, and what they need to know and what they need help with. I'm there for it, regardless of whatever it is that she chooses to do. I'm there to support her, but I'm not going to just I'm not going to force my crap down her throat like, hey, so you finna be a witch because I said so, or you're finna be spiritual because I said so. Like, no, I'm not finna do that. But,
so with that being said, you don't want your kids, you just want them to find their own path. But if one happens to stumble upon and actually want to be a witch, then how do you go about trying to teach her craft and trying to not like submit her power, but suppress her power until she's old enough to understand it?
Well, with that, what I believe is that all human beings have like a weird surge of energy and power in general. And as she grows, I've taught her like a lot of, let me explain it this way. My oldest, she gets really angry sometimes, and she can be really competitive, and she has a lot of energy, so much energy. I've gotten her into meditation and doing yoga and, breathing and finding her calm, finding her center, being able to regulate herself. The best thing for me in that is teaching her how to regulate herself, her emotions, her own personal energy. If she does decide that she wants to take up her own personal craft like I have, then she's already halfway there, because she knows how to control her emotions. She knows how to control her energy. She knows how to find herself, center herself, and not get lost in the sauce of things, so to speak. You know.
Okay, every spell, according to an ex high priestess that I was looking up online, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get a whole bunch of flack, and I'm paraphrasing everything that he said, but every spell comes with a cost. Every spell comes with a price. So even with the little spells, it comes with a price. So
Yeah.
what would you like? What spells have you done that you've necessarily seen come with a price?
Um, I want to say that I haven't really done anything that I felt would cost me more than what I would gain from it. See, how I work is like I said in the car earlier, everything is like a give and take. Obviously, that's in life in general. When I do like a prosperity spell, we make offerings. We have these little they're kind of like, they're called ancestral dollars, and it's like
Fake money.
yeah, like it's just ancestral dollars, and they're used specifically for these things. And you can put them on an altar, or you can
That's
burn
what
them
those
as.
rappers be using in them in them in them videos.
Yo, I said the same
That's what
shit.
they be using in them fucking videos.
I said that same shit because my mother had given me. Oh, funny story. My mother is she used to be heavy Christian, and now she's a spiritual individual as well now. Way after I had already been doing this, like I can't tell you how heated I was when I found out that she was all spiritual and shit now, because I had left for a while. Came back and she's like, "Oh yeah, Sage, this blessings, that this, that, and the third." I'm just like, hold up, wasn't you beating my ass like years ago over it? Like, anyway, my mother had given me some ancestral dollars, and you can burn them as offerings during prosperity spells and things of that nature. So when I do prosperity spells, the give for your take would be that offering, and you burn it and you send the ashes to the wind, so your ancestors or your spiritual guides take that as an offering to do to kind of help you progress with what you want to do. Also, altars, when people have their altars set up, they have their altar set up to certain deities or certain goddesses, you know, of whomever they pray to or find their guidance from, ancestors. You put your food out for them. You put like their particular food of choice. Sometimes it's honey, fruit. Put flowers up there, the ancestral dollars. You put like little figures of them or something that represents them. You know, a little bowl of water. You make sure you feed and you give and you water your ancestors and your guides.
I don't mean to cut you off, but see, that's the problem that I have with witchcraft and stuff. That particular thing that you just said, you're putting out something for a god or a deity that's not necessarily going to be able to eat it, because a god doesn't need to eat or doesn't need to sleep. So why are you putting those
Well, you
things
see,
out?
it's the offering. It's not so much so they're coming into your house like Santa Claus and munching on some cookies type shit. No, it's more so the fact, like, I respect you and I honor you in this way.
Yeah, but why would they pick something that they're not going to benefit from? You offer something so that you could benefit from it. Like if me and you, we decided that we were going to go into business together. I said, okay, you're going to sit up there and pay the light bill. I'm going to pay the water bill. And then you end up not paying your motherfucking part. I'm going to be mad at you. And I'm going to be like, okay, why didn't you pay your water bill? Or whatever like that. I mean, you see where I'm coming from? Like,
I see. I think I can see where you're coming from, but
they don't benefit from honey or flowers or
see, the thing is that it's not so much as
I could understand
it's not so much as dead.
See, I can understand a blood sacrifice. That's why I understand like Satanism, because they're sacrificing stuff. That's a life for a life. So,
but that's the thing. But that's the thing. Even the sacrifice is still an offering.
Yeah, but it's an offering that they can benefit from, because it's a life.
But it's all about perspective. It's all about how you look at it. Honestly, it's like they're all offerings, and you're offering these things because some particular deities and some particular gods and goddesses require or ask for certain things. These are the things that you know that they like. They know that they're. I'm sorry, I lost my words. They'll, like, in some scriptures or in like in some other alternate religions and things like that, they tell you to go offer me this here or give me this here, or you know what, put like 3 bundles of wheat and a fucking goat here as an offering. It's not so much as, you know, they're gonna eat it and like make bread or something. It's the fact that this is what they require, this is what they ask of you. It's all ritualistic. And it's all about, hey, so I respect you and I appreciate what you're doing for me and that you even took it into consideration. Here's this gift. It's like if I give you a book, you're not going to read it, but you like books. You like to have them. And you have no other benefit from it because you're not going to take anything from the book. You're not going to read through it and absorb the substance of the book, but you're going to have it, and it's going to be sitting up on your wall in your bookcase. And every time you look at it, it's just like, oh, that was really nice of them to give me that because they know I like books.
I guess. I mean, because if I guess that's where the ego versus, you know, emo point of view of things come into play about, you know, with religion and witches and all that stuff, is that you can use anything from good and you can use anything from bad. And me, I'm thinking from a perspective of ego. If I can't use what you're giving me, fuck what you're giving me, because I don't need it. I'm a god. Like, sacrifice something for me. Give me something that I could benefit from, and that's the only thing that I can think of. I see you would
be a malicious god. I see that. We have to slay and pillage fucking villages for you to get your appreciation.
No. I just think that, like, with me being a god, you offering me bread, and that's cool. But guess what? I can't eat that shit because I'm a god and I'm just a spirit here in this lifetime or whatever. So
I wish I could explain it in a better term where you can understand, because it's like, you know what? Let me kind of see if I can get you to understand this way. Have you ever seen Coco, the movie?
Nope. I don't like cartoons, man.
Where'd you even come from? Okay, all right, let's see. Basically, it's like I said, it's just the offering. It's just the offering, letting them know that you appreciate, and like you are making sure that they know that they're appreciated.
Yeah, but when somebody appreciates you, they give you something that you're gonna use. Like, if I was homeless, I wouldn't want a fucking, you know what, Ferrari, because I'm gonna run out of gas the next day.
You might even
or I can't even put gas in it. I would want food, or I would want socks somebody could appreciate.
I seen my friend, she had an altar. Well, she has a house. Well, she had a house at this point in time before she moved, and she made an altar outside, like in her backyard, and it was beautiful. And she put out some fruit, and she put out some honey and some water and stuff on this altar, and she got the next day when she came outside to like check up on her things, you know, do her mantras and her meditation and all of that, she found butterflies and hummingbirds on her altar, and that she took as a sign that her deity or her goddess appreciated what she did, because familiars and nature and things of that sort came to the altar and fed on her offerings. That in itself was like amazing to me, because for one, I fucking love hummingbirds. They're my favorite bird, one of them. And like, you can, like, that right there is like Mother Nature telling you thanks for doing this, or whatever deity that it was that she was worshiping or meditating to, or ancestor that she was asking guidance from, was literally giving her a sign like, hey, I heard you, I'm letting you know that I was here. You know, it's things like that. Like, and that right there is what kind of, because I was kind of skeptical at first as well when I first started trying to get into this about the whole altar situation, because honestly, like I said, I had only done self-practice with my own personal energy, and I was more of a nature-oriented practitioner.
I mean, yeah, you can use that, practitioner.
You know, I'm more nature-oriented. I'm more of a self-energy type thing. Like, because I've yet to find a deity or goddess that has called to me yet. I find interest in all of them, so I try to study them as much as I can when I can.
That's probably
But-
why you ain't getting one. Because you're being a whore. You're being a
What?
god whore.
No, you're supposed to study.
You seeking out other gods and shit. You
No,
both to just
I don't
stick to
see-
one.
What? Stop that. No, you're supposed to study and know. Like, that's how it is with anything. You want to know, it's my husband's big thing is law of attraction, okay?
Yeah,
And,
I'm down with that. Law of attraction.
Yeah, so I feel like I can't make these things go together the way I want to, so I'm gonna put a pin in that. So his big thing is law of attraction, and anything that you know that you need and you know that you want, you put that energy into the universe and it comes to you. I kind of I feel that in a certain way, but differently. I feel that when something shows itself to you, or you feel a strong pull inside you, it's kind of like going shopping and you're just walking around and all of a sudden you just turn and you see like this bomb ass shirt or these awesome pair of shoes or what have you, and it's the only one there, and you're the one that found it, and it's perfect for you, your size and everything. So you take that, and it was meant for you. It was meant to be. That's how I see my personal. That's how I see it. If I ever find like a deity or goddess or whoever my ancestors are, I'll know it when I see it.
Okay, what if you attract several different entities? What if you're attracted to all entities? Because in Catholic religion, they have this God, this God, and they're attracted to them all. So what do you do there?
You mean
What
the
do
saints?
Saints. Oh, God. This nigga right.
Well, it does go into gods if you're getting into like Santeria and shit like that.
Yeah.
Santeria. What?
Yeah, like the Orishas and different gods and stuff like that. They worship. They did it through hiding them as the saints so they could continue their religion.
Crafty. She's like,
But even if you look at Catholicism, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of the same thing you see in different magics, which is just the fundamental of like having icons and like making the subconscious align with the conscious, and all the rituals they do every day. They have certain prayers for all kinds of things. I think honestly Catholicism aligns much more with witchcraft than it does with Christianity.
Honestly, if you think about it, Christianity is nothing but a big ass witchcraft ritual anyway. Y'all go to a building where y'all all congregate together and y'all all bow your heads in prayer, which could be murmurings of spells and or incantations. Yeah. And then when y'all do y'all's what is it with the bread and
communion, the Holy Communion?
You're literally drinking the blood of your Lord and the body of Christ or whatever. Like, do you not see that as a ritual? Do y'all not see that as a ritual? Because that's exactly what it is.
It's funny that you brought that up because, Mother's Day just passed last weekend, last Sunday, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and we all went to the grave, and you know who was all there? Every fucking body and their mama. No pun intended.
Everybody, yo, that was okay. That hit me real late, and I had to stop.
Everybody was there. Everybody was cars, lines, whatever, and we all went up to the grave, and guess what we all did? We all held hands, and we all prayed around the dead.
Yes,
and I said,
y'all
dude,
went
this is
to
a
the resting
seance.
place of your ancestors to do what? Leave flowers, i.e. an offering or something to let them know that you were there, to tell them and talk to them and ask them for guidance. Hey, watch down over me. Hey, how do y'all even get off saying that we are just some kind of evil presence in the earth, but y'all do the same exact shit?
And when I went home and said, hey, that was low-key a seance that we just did. We was all holding hands in a circle around the dead, and we prayed. That's a seance. I didn't even bring up the fact that you just said that we left flowers. I didn't even bring flowers, mainly because I just don't believe in burial grounds. I just don't.
Why not?
Because I believe that my ancestors is in me. They live in me.
I like that answer.
They live within me. We're going to a corpse, and their corpse is already eaten up, dead, gone. Their soul is already gone. Like, they're within me. So why
Yeah,
am I going to a
because
burial
I
ground
feel-
where it's a slab of rock? And my mama kind of got mad at me because I sit up there and said, this ain't my grandmother. And she said, no, she said, I said, why are we even doing this? And she said, because we're just paying respects to, you know, your grandmother. I was like, this slab of rock ain't my grandmother. My grandmother lives within me. And she was like, oh. And she got real frustrated with me. And then afterwards, when we all went home, I was like, man, we just low-key did a seance. And everybody was mad at me, but
you
I
just
was like...
edged it on even more.
Because I was just like, that's what it is. Whenever you go watch The Haunting in Connecticut, The Conjuring, you see them all, around each other. When they go do the flashback of what happened before they was in that house and everything. And they're doing a seance, and that's what the fuck you do whenever you go to your grandmama's grave or your granddad's grave or your mama's grave, and you talk to them. You talking to the dead.
I mean, what do you think you're doing when you're sitting here thinking about your grandmother and you talk to her in your head? You're also talking to the dead. Just because their physical is dead does not mean that their spiritual is not yet alive. Like it's energy. Their energy has moved from a holding. So I agree with you. Your ancestors are within you. Your loved ones, the spirits of your loved ones and their energies of course, what they've instilled in you is there still.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I can understand why some people go to graveyards and burial grounds, because it's a sense of it's physical.
Yeah, it's physical. That's it.
A lot of people are physical. They need tangible things. Especially when it comes to something so hurtful as losing somebody you cared about. You need something to talk to. Like, people keep pictures of their passed away loved ones or things of that nature, and they might talk to them or they look at them and think longingly of the person who passed. Like, you need something to look at, to focus on. Like, it's kind of like that.
It's kind of like whenever you have what is that, Catholics people, they have the rosary and they count 23, and each prayer, each bead is because instead of just praying, they just need something tangible. It would be like, okay, I didn't kept up with the prayers today. Or when Muslims, they pray to the east or whatever. When you could just pray wherever. Like, if you're going to pray wherever, just pray. I just don't understand that. I'm totally like, in that sense, I'm spiritual, because I just be like, you don't need to sit up there and go to no burial ground and pray or do anything if your ancestors is within you. Actually, that's a prison. They're under the ground in a coffin that's locked the fuck up.
Only in the physical. Only in the physical.
Yeah, like, but why would I go there? Spiritual is so much more than physical. Spiritual trumps the physical, because, and another thing that I want to say is, stop bothering your ancestors. They don't want to hear from you. They're in the abyss. They're out wherever they are. They're chilling. That's like you being on vacation and your cousins or your boss say, hey, we need you here at the office. No, Earth is a fucking prison. We're in meat bodies that break down every year we get older. And now they done left that prison, and you sitting up here calling them the fuck back. Talking about, hey, I'm just here for a second. No, leave them alone and just remember the things that they instilled in you, and you honor them that way. Whenever your mama, one thing that when my mom does die, I'll always keep learning. Because even when I moved out of her house at 16, and I was drunk, I was high, I was everything in the book. But the one thing that she instilled in me was go to school. When all my friends was laid out in the living room, chilling, doing whatever they was doing, they was like, where you going, Crowder? I said, to school. They said, you going to school? I said, yeah. Because it wasn't so much of I wanted to, it was something that my mom instilled in me, that you need an education out here. Your diploma ain't for you, it's for me. So I took that. I took that into consideration, and I graduated on time, did everything that I was supposed to do. And that's how you honor your ancestors or your God or whoever that you want to do, is by doing what they instilled in you, not by going there Christmas, Mother's Day, doing all that, and then leaving flowers and shit like that. They know what the fuck you doing. They looking down at your dumb ass doing that shit.
Be looking down at your dumb ass watching you do this dumb shit. Okay. So what you're telling me is that you believe that after they're gone, that the best way to honor your ancestors is to continue what they've instilled and what they started with you.
Yes. Whether it's a
that.
business or whether it's something that they told you. If your granddaddy drank all day and you believe that nigga and you said, oh, that was the right, and he said that was the right thing to do, then continue fucking drinking, I guess.
No.
No, that's just an example. But I'm just saying, you honor your ancestors or your God by doing what they instilled in you, not by going and putting flowers and sitting up there talking to them. They in the higher realm, away from earth, away from this prison. Stop bothering them. Stop calling them from vacation.
Now,
that's where they at. They in vacation and you calling them on some bullshit.
I can agree.
For Mother's Day, that's a made up religion. That's made up holiday. For more money for the economy, you're bothering fucking them for bullshit.
So let me bring myself back real quick because you sending me with this shit. Okay, I agree with you to a point. Okay, I agree. You don't need to call on your ancestors for every little problem because they gave you the tools you needed to make through and make do with what you got. But I do believe that sometimes you need guidance, and I believe that's what they're there for. I believe that that's what, for one thing, they transcended for, to be able to guide you in a better way they could than when they were here in the physical. I believe that. Now, yes, you don't need to be calling on them, bothering them about every little thing when you know good and damn well all it takes is for you to put your metal to it. You know, I agree with you in that. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes there are some obstacles in life and in your own spiritual journey that you're going to need somebody to help guide you in a different playing field.
Yeah, but you don't need to go to the graveyard for that.
No. You don't have to. But that's for people who need the physical, tangible things. Like when they need something to focus on, when they need somebody, when they need to go to that site, like they might feel closer to their deceased loved one
that's
that
weak.
way.
That's weak-minded.
Maybe in your perception.
That's weak because that's physical and you talking to somebody spiritual.
Yeah, but
so you can't go to
like
nothing
this.
physical and expect to get a spiritual answer.
Think of it like this. Just hear me out. When you go to your grandmother's grave, think of it as
a slab of rock, dirt, and a hole.
Or like a love language.
Yeah, like a love language, kind of like a meeting point. Like, hey, I know you know where this place is, and I know you can hear me from here directly. Because when you go there and you focus on that, your energy is going directly to whatever it is that you're focusing on. There's nothing to intercept it. There's nothing to bypass it because you're centering yourself and focusing on that gravestone. You're focusing on that. And so you're sitting there just like, hey, so I'm using this as an antenna to you. Please hear me right now. I need you more than ever. Think of it like that. Like, even though you could do that from at home with a picture of your grandmother or whatever, sometimes it's easier for somebody to go somewhere where they know that's where I saw you last.
True.
This is where I remember you being. This is where I know you can probably hear me best from because right here, right now, I'm focusing on you and your energy and sending mine to you. Type. Like, that's how I see it. And I feel like I understand your standpoint from it. I get it. And that's because that's just how you see things. That's just how you're perceiving. That's what works for you. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with how you perceive that or how you deal with this. But for other people, it might be exactly how I explained it. This is the best way I know how to communicate with you is from right here.
True.
So, let's just think of it that way.
Yeah, different stroke for different folks.
Exactly.
But stop calling your ancestors out of vacation, man.
I knew you was going to come back with that.
Stop calling their ass out of vacation. They don't want to hear about your earthly problems, man.
To be real, your ancestors will literally ignore you when they know that you got this because sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever you have a baby and you've seen them walk 1,000 times and then they're like, oh, pick me up. And you're like, bitch, you know how to walk? That's how your ancestors look at you when you come to like fucked up problems.
No, you want to know what it is? It's when you fall and your mother says, get up, you're okay. And you sit there and you look at her like, and then you get up and you're like, okay, I'm good. And then so the next time you fall, you stumble and you don't have to call on them again. And it's okay to call out sometimes when you need to. But when you fall, just know that you're supposed to get up and don't sit there and curse your ancestors when whoever you ask guidance from when they don't come to your aid right then, because you might not really need them. You're just calling for them because
you know you
scraped your head.
can. Yeah,
Because you
can.
know, like, oh, I've called on you before and I know you're here to help me. But that doesn't mean you necessarily need their help right now, because you already have done this before. You've fallen before, and just because you've fallen without me right behind you to pick you up does not mean you don't know how to use your legs and stand.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, yeah, your ancestors, your spiritual guides, your deities will just look at you sometimes and wait for you to realize that if you just stand the fuck up, you can get up here and look me face to face and tell me what you really need.
Exactly.
Like, you know, so yeah, like, I can agree with your whole, you ain't got to call on me, because, yeah, they'll definitely just look at you like, nigga, get your ass up. Like, just, like, dust yourself up. Like, you need a Band-Aid? Here. You can get it if you stand up. Like, you know, like, yeah, so I feel you on that a little. I can feel you on that.
Man, okay. Marina Abramovic. That is the main reason I called your ass in, because I needed a witch perspective from this point of view, because I just don't know enough about this craft to even, you know, talk about it. But Marina Abramovic, for the ones that don't know who she is, she made a commercial for Microsoft for the HoloLens about in April. They sent it out to the UK. They took it down because viewers and everybody was saying that it was demonic and they didn't want it there, and they got her ass the fuck up out of there. And Bill Gates, and it racked up about 25,000 dislikes within 4 hours of it being online. Yeah, that's how crazy it was. And my whole question is, and then she doubled back and said that one of the people on Reddit had asked her, okay, bitch, are you a witch or not? I'm paraphrasing, of course. Are you a witch or not? And she said, if you're doing witchcraft for magic, it's for magic. And if you're doing witchcraft for art, it's art.
I'm sorry.
What are your views on that? Because my whole view is, bitch. But
yo, all right, so like I said before, I don't know much about this individual because I tried to look her up and do some research about this.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, and I couldn't find anything. I hadn't heard anything about it until you said something.
I looked it up today just to try to like send you a link on it and refresh your memory or whatever, because I told you last week, hey, look her up. And there's nothing. It's just all good shit.
Yeah, see, because like when we had talked last week, I was trying to look into her, and I was all like, I can't find shit on it. Like, I've even been like, I was added to some weird conspiracy theorist group, and they always got like the tea on some weird shit, and I'm just like, I was trying to look into it, and I was like, there's nothing here. I'm just like, even the weirdest weirdos can't give me nothing. I'm just like, okay, so I can't, like, so I couldn't find too much, so I figured like I would try to get like a general idea. So off of what you just told me though, the fuck? Like, you literally said it. It's in the word. If you do witchcraft for magic, it's witchcraft. But if you do witchcraft for art, like, no. There's artistry in witchcraft. Yes, there is. But you can't sit here and say, oh, it's just art without the craft. Like, why would you even call it witchcraft if it's just art? Because art is art and witchcraft is witchcraft. There's no in between. You can find artistry in the craft that you do. Yes, I make jewelry and wands and dream catchers, and there's artistry in what I do in my craft and in my intent.
But at the end of the day, you still know that it has the power to be fucking magic.
And yeah, I'm putting energy into it. You're putting energy into whatever it is that you're doing. You're doing a craft, whether it's for ill will or for the greater good, you're putting energy into it. There's no, it's just something I drew up.
Like, and she does spirit cooking. For those that don't know what spirit cooking is, it's basically the use of bodily fluids in your art. Blood, semen, urine, saliva in your art. She paints these things. If you go look up Kill Room or go look up Off the Grid or any one of those documentaries that they've done on her, then you'll see what looks like a spell on the wall, cutting your middle finger, letting it bleed. I don't even want to say the rest of it because I don't even want to curse this room, man.
You can't
but
do it like that's not how that works.
I don't care. That shit's weird, and it low key looks like a spell. And she does these things at the Met Gala. Is that how you pronounce it? Met Gala. Yeah. She does these, and she's around all these powerful people, and she's just a performance artist. And my whole thing is that I know that you said that the spirits don't know, but if you take a little kid,
spirits do know. No, spirits do know.
Okay, so yeah, they don't know that that's not art. They're just going off of the energy that you put into it and the words that you said, which would be potentially a fucking spell.
See, that's not even potential. It is. It's incantation with bloodletting and ritualistic aspects. Like, that's definitely a ritual you got going on there from my point of view. See, like, and I'm only stating off the information that I just got from you, because like I said before, I have no prior knowledge to this individual and what's been going on, because honestly I stay to myself. I'm kind of secluded, you know. So, but off of what you just told me, like, first off, using children for this, like, that's just the most despicable ass shit I've ever heard.
She don't too much use children for it, but she uses blood. And whenever because I wasn't there, but whenever people asked her what type of blood is that, oh, it's pig's blood, it's animal's blood. Still, life is in blood.
That's still a ritual.
That's still a ritual. So like, I'm just trying to figure out
that
why
you're literally making living art. If that's what you're doing, that is a good definition of living fucking art. You're literally using the essence of a living being or thing and creating something with it. Like, how is that just art and not a craft? Like, and whatever craft it is, it seems like it might have some malice behind it. Like, and
if you're fucking around with the Podesta brothers, it's definitely some fucking malice behind that. They've been caught up in fucking pedophile rings, and they've been on the fucking Epstein list and all that shit. I don't know, but the one thing that I want to say is that I'm glad UK got her the fuck up out of there, that damn commercial, because I can't see it. I don't know what it was, but it was apparently so bad, and I don't even think they took it down because it was bad and it was demonic or satanic or whatever, or malice. But I think that they took it down because it got so many dislikes, and Bill Gates didn't like that motherfucking shit. He didn't like the fact that people was downgrading his damn commercial that he probably spent billions on and had a high performance artist there to film it or whatever. But my thing is, the spirits don't know that it's just art. They just hearing the words that you saying and the energy that you putting into it. If you play with a Ouija board, it's fun. Hasbro Brothers had it. They had a Ouija board years ago. Mm-hmm. And guess what? A lot of them kids probably fucked up because they played for it for fun and fucked up and got Lala Booba there for you or whatever in your house, bro. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let me go ahead and say this right now. If it's art, it's art. But when it's no. Listen. There are doors that can be opened whether you know it or not. A Ouija board is one surefire way to open up a fucking door. 2, as far as the spirit, as you say, the spirits might not know, they just coming like, no. They know, that's why they're coming, because it's not just art. It's not. Regardless of what she says. You have to give spirits and entities more credit, because they are some crafty motherfuckers and they're not ones to be fucked with, honestly, regardless of if they have any ill will or well-being towards you. Spirits know, because they're around us everywhere. Their energy transferring from here to there, and if you are summoning them and you're calling to them and you're doing the things, you're literally dialing them on speed dial or whatever, with whatever ritual that you're doing, they're gonna come your way regardless of whether you know that you're opening a door or not. That's how a Ouija board. Like, if you playing with a Ouija board and you open that door just a crack. It only takes a small inch for that fresh air to come in and something to come out. It doesn't take much, which is why I suggest not using a Ouija board unless you are prepared. Like, one thing in witchcraft or any kind of craft whatsoever, you don't summon anything you don't know how to banish. So basically that's saying you don't fuck with shit unless you know how to fix it. So if you got a puzzle, with 1,000 pieces and it's already put together and you take it apart, you better know how to put it back. Like, just no missing pieces, no gaps, no jamming pieces in the places they need to go. If you're going to take it apart, know how to put it back together. If you're going to take it out the box in general, know how to put it together. Like, it's just that simple. Don't fuck with shit you don't know how to deal with at all. Don't summon anything you don't know how to banish or take care of or put back. Like, that's just not something you do. So when you're out here summoning or doing these rituals with your blood and your semen and your saliva and shits from whatever animal you say you came across,
I believe it's
like,
children.
See, I hope not, because that's just horrible. And it's just, I can't even think about using children for that type of thing, because that's just horrible. Like, whatever she's doing, if it's to any caliber from what I've been hearing, yeah, she's definitely getting 3 times tenfold whatever the fuck she's doing back on her. She's not going to end up well. Like, it's just not going to happen good for her. There's nothing good that's going to come of this at all. And yes, when you're doing dark things in the shadows, you might have power for a small specific point of time. You'll have your 15 minutes of fame, but at the end of the day, when you do dark shit, there's a higher toll to pay, especially when you're using innocent individuals like kids. Like, yeah, that's just not, you're definitely going to have to pay that back, and you're not going to like it. It ain't going to end well for you at all.
Yeah, I gotta pee. But yeah, that's the only thing that I have about her, is that if you're a witch, just say you a fucking witch, yo. It's 2020. Nobody cares about gays. Nobody cares about trans. Nobody cares about, well, I ain't gonna say racism because it's still out there.
No,
but
we definitely care about the racism. But we need that to fucking stop.
Yeah, we do gotta stop that shit. But I'm just saying, everything's really open now. Nobody cares that you're a witch. Just say what the fuck you are, so that people that want to follow you, and innocent people don't get hurt in the process.
Honestly,
because I just don't understand that about her, bro.
If she's doing all this horrible fucking shit that is being said that she's doing, I don't want
that. Is art.
No. Fuck this whole art shit. Nah, I don't want her being tagged into the name of the craft or whatever the fuck she's doing.
And it's funny that you say that, because I just want to know, as a practicing active witch, do you feel like that's witch appropriation? The fact that she's saying that, oh, it's just art, without calling herself a witch.
Witch appropriation.
I mean, I made that up, but a white guy come in with cornrows.
I mean, I know what you mean. You mean, is she a perpetrator? Yes, I feel like she might be. But even if she's not, whatever she's doing, it needs to stop. Like, if all these things are true, whatever she is doing, it needs to come to an end. Because not only are you, like, if you do come out as, hey, I'm actually a witch or whatever, and then you got all these people, you're going to have a whole bunch, like, they already look at us weird. People already look at us as if we're just ready to throw you in our fucking cauldron type shit. We're going to steal your kids in the middle of the night, and we're going to stew them up so we can stay young forever.
I thought you were going to come over here on a broom.
You know what? If I had one,
Straight up.
I would. To be real with you.
I had a broom, I got to go pick her up. She supposed to ride her motherfucking broom.
If I had a broom to ride, please believe I would. It's just, like, for real, the Nimbus 2000 in this bitch. I'm not even playing. Like, but it's already bad enough that we have this stigma on us, as if we're just evil, ugly creatures that come out in the middle of the night to eat the toenails of your kids while their feet hang off the bed and cast a spell on your husband's
if you're
wives.
into that kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know. You tell me what you into. But no, it's not even, we don't want that. We don't need more of that. And it's even worse being black and in the craft as well. Because not only am I
because you're supposed to follow Christianity.
Yeah, no, nah, fuck all that. Like, not only am I black, I am a woman. And on top of that, I'm not following the beaten path that was given to me ahead of time. Like, come on. I got like several different struggles already. I don't need this whole stigma bullshit of this. What was her name again?
Marina Abramovic.
Marina.
Aberrant. I don't even think I'm saying it right.
Abernathy.
You spell it?
Abrahvick. Aberrant.
Marina anchovy sandwich.
Yep.
I just don't want it. I don't want nothing that comes attached to that. Like it's bad enough that we got this stigma as a whole is witches and Wiccans and spiritual women as a whole. We already have a stigma on us for being strange and unnatural, even though everything we do dwells in the natural of energy and nature and the calling of your being, and just it's just all stupid. And this bitch come out here fucking
spirit cooking
and
having a barbecue with
like
kids and shit,
doing the whole Pied Piper, calling your kids into the fucking forest and shit. Like, ain't nobody got fucking time for that. Like, no, whatever's coming to her is gonna come to her 3 times fold.
Man, I hope that shit come 5 times fold.
Oh,
cause she a
like,
bitch.
It's
Universe, if you hear me, come at that bitch 5 times fold.
Don't
hold no bar. Like get on
her
motherfucking ass.
If she is
fucking
as
get her the
bad,
fuck
like,
up out of here like UK did.
If she is truly as bad as I'm hearing, then there's definitely some.
But a lot of people don't think that she bad because she's saying she's covered it up with it's just art. It's just art. She looks fabulous. She's like 65 years old. She looks like
fabulous.
No, she she looks fabulous, bro. She looks like she's fucking 30. She looks like she's 30, and she's like 65. Yeah.
She must have hard boiled the spirits.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. I'm just saying.
Did she sip it through a straw?
I don't know. Next to Karen Bass,
did she like swirl it around?
She's the second bitch.
She swirled it around and she just whiffed the bouquet a little bit.
Yeah.
Just,
But no, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your business. What's your business called? What do you do? How do you do it? And tell people how to get at you.
Oh, yes. I would love to.
Because you also have a business.
Yes, I do. I make stuff.
That's right.
My business is called Stormy Weather, and I go by Truu Storm in Stormy Weather. And I make jewelry and other accessories and other pieces that you might need, like dream catchers or wands or anything, out of gemstones and crystals. I sage them, I charge them, I make sure that they're cleansed and everything, and they have all the good intent and energy that you'll need for it. And I try to help my customers and my followers when they come to me telling me that they need a specific stone for something. I make sure that we pull out the ones that are best for them, and I give them an array of choices, and we make our pick, and then I go get it and I wrap it up, or I wrap it up in wire, or I turn it into a pendant, a necklace, a bracelet, or I put it up in a dream catcher, or I make something for you out of it, and then I give it to you, and there you go. You have your energy, you have your spiritual tools, so to speak. I also make customized floral sage soon. I'm expanding. I will be making candles. I will be making little. I plan on maybe trying to make some ritual candles, maybe some good intent candles with the dried herbs and flowers, and
So your hat's gonna be smelling like weed.
What? No, more like lavender.
You said herb.
Herbs, not herbs. Nigga. Oh my god. I could make a cannabis scented. I could make a cannabis infused.
That's where you should go with it.
You
know how many weed heads out here? Dispensary game is fucking killing.
You know that I was already planning that. I plan on cornering the market on all fronts.
True.
I'm finna do it all. So if you request it, I'm going to get it, and I can make it. Like just like with anything that I make. If I haven't made it yet, please know that I will. Like I just started making waist beads not too long ago.
What's a waist bead?
Waist beads. They are they can be used for spiritual purposes. Some people use them for watching their weight. Some people wear them just for the aesthetic purposes.
So we don't know that they're fat underneath that shit.
What? What? Yeah, you. What?
So-
Stop that.
Okay,
Okay,
we don't know if they got that fupa.
No, what?
Fucking chilling
First
underneath that
off-
fucking shirt, yo.
First off, fupas are like the shit because I also have a fupa.
No, we ain't talking
about.
about. We ain't talking about that fupa. We talking about that grande. When you go to Taco fucking Bell and
I'm
they
not
ask you
finna
what
listen-
type of
no.
drink.
I'm not gonna listen to you
No, fuck
over
that.
here
And
body
they
shame
ask
the
you-
fupas.
So
No,
they
I'm not
ask
gonna
you
allow
what type
it.
of chalupa you want, and
Oh
you
my
say
God.
fupa.
No, you don't. Who
That's the
goes to-
grand one right there. That's
Who
over
does that?
fucking grand, yo.
Who does that? Nobody goes to fucking Taco Bell asking for. You know what? Anyway, like I was saying, we finna move on because this nigga tripped. so basically, they're kind of like waist chains made out of beads or gemstones, gem beads. And lately, my 7 chakra waist beads have been really fucking popular. They're basically the 7 chakra stones for your chakras to help you align. Some people like to use them in their meditation. Helps them ground, helps them elevate, helps them expand their energy or bring it back in and find their center. Like I said before, I make them out of glass beads and I make them out of gemstones, and I add the charms and all that. Everything I do is fully customizable for my customer, so they can tell me what they do and don't want. A lot of times they give me creative freedom. So they just say, hey, I've seen your stuff. Do something. And so, I'll do it. Like, one of my pieces here, this is actually, I made this for myself because after.
Get the cameras right there.
Oh. I was making stuff for everybody and I was like, I don't have anything for myself. So I just sat down. I had a stone that I picked out for myself, one of the personal stones. This is a sodalite. And I was just like, you know what? I really love this stone because it looks like thunder, like a lightning thunderstorm on a rock. Like, it really does. It has, like, these white streaks, looks like lightning. And it was just beautiful to me. So, and it called to me. So I was like, I need this stone. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it in a choker. So this is what I call my suspended gems. My suspended gems are usually as chokers or, maybe long necklaces. They can also be used as a bracelet if I make them mid-length, so you can wear them as a necklace or a bracelet. Everything I do is unisex. I make things for men and women alike. So that was weird. Yeah. Okay. That was weird.
I heard that too.
Yeah, so I make things for any and everybody. I even make things for kids. I actually am making a smoky quartz anklet for a little girl right now, somebody's niece, for protection if I'm not mistaken. And everything I make, I put good intent into. I make sure that my work area is pretty. I sage down everything. I sage myself, then I sage my area. I put on some music. I get a good vibe. Sometimes I do a live while I'm making my stuff because I like to talk to my people. I like to talk to everybody while I'm making stuff, and that kind of brings people in. And everybody likes to see me work because they love to see my youngest come in and fuck up my shit. They really just come to watch her fuck shit up.
True.
But yeah, so I make just about anything. I make dream catchers, which I made 2. I infused stones with them. One of them was the 7 chakra rainbow theme, and the other was a yin and yang. So I just used clear quartz and tourmaline for that. And but yeah, they came out pretty good. You can find me on Facebook under my main page, Pixie Bell Weetsy Bat, or you can just look up Pixie Bell. It's PIXEHBELL, all one word, and you'll find my face. And or you can look up Stormy Weather on Facebook, and also it will be my face but with a edit of a storm, so it looks like I'm in the middle of my face is in the middle of a storm. It's weird to explain, but you'll know it's me. Just go down the page and you'll see nothing but me and the stuff that I make. I also have an Instagram, Stormy Weather, but the tag is Stormy Weatherstones _ between each word. So you can find me there too. I try to make myself available as possible, but you're more than likely find me best on Facebook because I'm trying to build up my Instagram now. Because the first time I had it, it crashed, got hacked, something. So
that's them people looking at the.
I've been fixing it up. I'm trying to keep it updated as much as possible. So definitely get at me if you need something special. I'm here to help, and I think I get pretty good prices for my work. It's guaranteed. I also do free repairs I do 1 free repair for every piece I make for you. Just make sure you give me all the pieces back. So yeah, I make arm cuffs, all that stuff. Anything that you need, I can probably make it.
Sure. Everybody hit this intelligent, beautiful lady up. You can hit me up. Not hit me up, but like, share, subscribe, comment, An Hour with Crowder on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Just look me up because we're all spiders and we all live on the web. So go ahead, Caleb, take us out.
Hey, you guys, this is Truu Storm, and you're tuning in to An Hour with Crowder.